single day I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Every single day.
Hi, this is Coach Al and this is your Business Minutes. For today's topic, I'm going to answer the question that was asked on our Facebook group. And the question is this: how can my business survive in this time of pandemic? But before I'm going to answer that, please hit the like button, click the subscribe and the bell below to get notification from us when we have new videos, okay? So, how are we going to, or how is your business going to survive in this time of pandemic? At this time, the good business right now are the essential business. And when I say essential, this means the food, shelter, clothing, right? So these are the basic needs. So food industry right now is a big thing. Probably health is also a big thing right now. Shelter, clothing, maybe not so much with clothing, right? But at this point of time, what I'm saying is that good business right now are the essential businesses. But what are you going to do if your business is a non-essential? Let's say, for example, if you're in the real estate business, that's a non-essential, right? For now, at least, right? So what are you going to do? I have listed here 4 tips or advices that I can give you on how you can survive if your business is a non-essential. Okay, so here's the first one. The first one here is identify your competitor. And this is very basic, but as you identify your competitor, you also have to identify how they are surviving at this time of pandemic. So you have to understand, how are they reaching out to their market? How are they promoting their business? How are they branding themselves at this time of pandemic? So one of the easiest way is for you to kind of like copy what they are doing, because they're already successful in that part, right? So once you identify your competitor, you understand how they are surviving at this time of pandemic, and then that's what you're going to copy or maybe improve also in that part. Okay. The second one is, I would suggest to do a SWOT analysis. You have to analyze the strength of your competitor, the weakness of your competitor, and the strength of your competitor would be your threat. The weaknesses of your competitor will be an opportunity for you. I'll give you an example. Philippine Airlines and Cebu Pacific, okay? Years back, Philippine Airlines was the only airlines in the country. In fact, Philippine Airlines was the flagship of the Philippine flag, right, or the country. And at that time, there was no competition. But somewhere in 1988, Cebu Pacific became well known. And how did that happen? Well, what Cebu Pacific did was to do a SWOT analysis, and they found out that one of the weaknesses of Philippine Airlines is that Philippine Airlines is only available to those who are like businessmen or those who can afford it. It's very expensive. Okay, so I remember during that time, if you take the plane, then you are already very rich. So what Cebu Pacific did was that as they look at that, they see that as a weakness. They see that as an opportunity for them to do business. So they have a different approach, right? They got this tagline, which is anyone can fly. Okay, so this is what SWOT analysis can do to your business. So you focus more on the weakness of your competitor and then take that as an opportunity. Okay, the third one is to create a need. Again, this is very basic when you're doing business, but at this time of pandemic, how can you create a need when your business is a non-essential? And so what you need to do is, as you identify your opportunities, you also have to identify what are the problems that my business, my product, or my services can solve. okay, during this time of pandemic. So what you're doing here is that you're creating a need for your potential clients. You're making your service, you're making your product, or you're making your business an essential to them. Okay, so you're going to do a little psychology at this time. Okay, so identify the problems that people have during this pandemic and how your business can solve that problem. Okay, let's say for example, if you're into investment or real estate, I mean the pandemic is actually it's a long term, but it's temporary. Okay, so you can create a need, right? That some properties are selling low right now because of the pandemic. So this is a best time for you to buy properties. So it's a good investment, right? And then you show them that in the future you're going to have, the price will go up, after this pandemic. So that's one way to position yourself so that your service or your product becomes an essential to people. Okay, so identify what problems your business can solve. And lastly, identify your market segment. I know some of you have watched the movie Through Night and Day. Okay, I just read this too, so I'm just copying this, by the way. I read that Through Night and Day was actually a movie that was or released in 2018. However, the movie was not very popular. In fact, I myself haven't heard about the movie in 2018, right? Maybe you haven't. But this was not very popular when it was released. But now in 2020, this movie is very popular. It's trending on Facebook, actually. And the reason why this became a hit was because it was shown in Netflix. So they saw an opportunity that people during this time of pandemic are at home. So there's no movie house. The movie houses are closed, so nobody goes there. And people are at home, people have internet, or people have mobile Wi-Fi, and so they can watch Netflix. They saw this as an opportunity, so that they released this on Netflix, and then it became a hit. Another example for this is a movie that I've just watched with my family, which is Greyhound. And maybe you've watched this, I don't know, but this was actually released through Apple TV, and this is one great example about a business that was supposed to be released in 2020, but because of the pandemic, everything was put on hold. But they found an opportunity here. So what they did was they sell the rights to Apple TV, and when they did that, they were still able to survive during this pandemic. It was a good movie, by the way. So you identify your market segments. Where are your market? Who are your market? What is the psychology of your market? By understanding your market during this pandemic, you'll be able to survive during this time. You can reach out to your prospect. Like for example, right now people are going digital, and house-to-house delivery is a big thing, right? So that can be an opportunity too. So again, I will repeat the 4 things that I suggest for you to survive in this time of pandemic. Number 1 is identify your competitor and how they are surviving. Number 2, do a SWOT analysis. Identify the strength of your competitor, the weakness. The strength will be your threat. The weakness of your competitor will be an opportunity for you. Number 3, create a need. Make your business an essential to people. And lastly, number 4, identify your target market. And once you identify your target market, then you already know how you can not just make your business an essential to your market, but also to reach out to the right market. Okay, I hope that helps you, and I really hope that your business will survive during this time. Have a great day.